Shav-
Is it? Hello.
Shavua Tov.
It's on. It's loud in the sanctuary. I'm like screaming in the sanctuary, but it's not coming out here.
Good evening. Oh, that's loud. Good evening, everyone. Shavua Tov. I know many of you have been patiently waiting for your signed copy of Rabbi Cohn's book, and we want to make sure that everyone gets one. He's been inscribing them very personally, and I know everyone has appreciated receiving those, but we do want to start our service right at 9 o'clock. So what we're going to do is Rabbi Cohn is going to sign each book, Rabbi Cohn, and then invite each of you to come back so we can meet with you and sign them personally after the holidays, and you can spend some time together. So after you've had your book signed, we're going to ask you to go into the sanctuary and take a seat so that we can begin our service right about 9 o'clock. It may also be to your benefit to come back after the holidays because his hand hurts so badly now you might not be able to read it anyway.
Cohen.
Shavua Tov, everyone. Knowing that there are still some people working their way through the line out there, we're going to have a soft start to our service. And I want to introduce Dan Nichols. I'll tell you a little bit more about him in just a moment, but he's going to lead us in just a little bit of music as we begin our time together. Well, while he's getting ready and people are coming in, I'll tell you a little bit more about him. This is Dan Nichols. He's a composer of Jewish contemporary music that has made its way across the country in so many ways. This is his fourth time at Beit Shalom. I met him for the first time in 1996 at Gucci Camp outside of Indianapolis. He was performing and I was there with a group of regional youth group board members for a national board meeting, and it's been lovely to get to know him ever since. He's got some beautiful music he's going to share with us. It's so wonderful to be together as we begin our journey during these high holy days. Slichot, some of you may know, is one of the most beautiful services of the season, and luckily this year Rabbi Cohn wrote a book so that we could draw you all in to be here tonight. As we said before, if you didn't get a chance to have a personal inscription, I know he will love to sit with you and be with you after the holidays and take some time to really write a personal inscription. I also want to take the opportunity to introduce Cantor Yvonne Shore, who is here tonight in the congregation, but who is going to be our cantor for the High Holy Days and who will be with us for this season. I know you'll have a chance to meet her over the next couple of weeks. As I said before, Dan is a guest, but he's not new to the congregation, and we're so grateful to have him and his music. We're also grateful to our teens and to Rabbi Crimmings, who worked with the Bestie Board and the confirmation class, and others who came to put together our service tonight. We're going to begin by inviting the Bestie Board, the leaders of our youth group, to the Bima to help us as we change the Torah covers from their everyday covers to their High Holy Day white covers.
Please rise and join us in singing our opening prayer, Pitchu Li, as the Torah scrolls are prepared for the high holidays by changing their mantles from their beautiful everyday ones to the unique mantles of the days of awe. Plain and white, reminding us of the clean slate we hope to create as we enter New Year, a year devoted to correcting our errors, doing right, and making ourselves better people and the world a better place.
פיתחו לי שערי צדק אהובה הודיה פיתחו לי שערי צדק אהובה הודיה פיתחו לי שערי צדק אהובם הודיה פיתחו לי שערי צדק אהובם הודיה פיתחו לי שערי צדק אהובם הודיה שערי צדק אהובם הודיה פיתחו לי שערי צדק אהובם הודיה פיתחו לי שערי צדק אהובם
For more than 1,000 years, it has been a custom for Jews to hold Slichot services on the Saturday evening preceding the days of awe. The services convey an atmosphere of reverence and supplication. Through the Slichot prayers, we ask God to grant mercy and forgiveness to all those who repent all the commencement of the new year. We approach this service with the solemnity and awe born of awareness of the great challenges that comfort us. We are the bearers of the noble heritage which commands us to strive to be our best selves. We are called to look within, to take stock of our lives, and to reevaluate our goals and purposes. This process is called Hishbon HaNefesh, literally a checkup for our souls. We are asked to acknowledge our mistakes in true repentance and reach out for a more just life in the new year.
Before we begin, Before we began our service this evening, our teens gathered to go through this process of Cheshbon HaNefesh, of taking an accounting of their own souls. So throughout our service this evening, some of our teens will be sharing their own personal reflections on what Cheshbon HaNefesh means to them and how they are approaching these upcoming High Holy Days. Please join us in singing Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. La 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 la. 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 La 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 la.
I'm aware of how global warming affects the planet and the animals and people on it. I realize how important it is for everyone to be aware of their own carbon footprint. If every person could take responsibility of their carbon footprint and of the communities, we'd be laying down the foundation for a cleaner, safer world for the future generations.
This summer, I spent 6 weeks at Herzl Camp. It was the best summer of my life because I realized the importance of being myself around my best friends in my home away from home. This has allowed me to make lifelong friendships, amazing memories, and grow as a person.
Shema
Adonai
We'll continue singing Avinu Malkeinu together.
While I was reflecting, I had started to think about what was important to me. A topic that stuck out to me was my self-image. Throughout the past few years, I have learned how to love myself, which in today's society is really hard. I have learned that loving yourself is one of the most important values you can have.
Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from? Where will my help come from?
In honor of Heshbon HaShaveh, I reevaluated some aspects of my life. I found out that I have some strengths and weaknesses. My biggest weakness is gossiping. I now know that I will no longer spread rumors or talk bad about anyone else. Thank you.
We'll join together in singing Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tatzim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tatzim Le'olam. Ki ata u'melech Olam, Le'olam Shalom. Ki ata
After the service is over this evening, we are going to send you home with the same inventory for Heshbon HaNefesh that all of our teens worked on this evening before our service. And as you can already tell, they have begun the deep work of the High Holy Day season of really looking inward and taking an accounting of their soul. At this time in our service, we are going to take a few minutes for silent meditation as we as well start to think about where we are as we enter this time of year.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Hiu, lirason, imarefi, vegion, libi, lefanecha. Adonai, Zuri, Vegoali, Adonai, Zuri, Vegoali.
This past year, I've been trying to limit how much I care about what other people think about me. I used to think whenever I would put on clothes or act who I am, I would always think, what would other people think about how I'm acting or what I'm wearing? And that will always get in my head. And so I'm trying to be who I am today by not caring as much about how people think about me and just being who I am.
Let's join together in singing Ve'al Kulam.
Ve'al kulam Elohai slicha slach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu. That's it. Ve'al Slach lanu, mechalanu, kaper lanu. Ve'al kulam Elohai slichot. Slach lanu, mechalanu, kaper lanu. Ve'al kulam Elohai slichot. Slach lanu, mechalanu, kaper lanu.
Are fires that burn within each of us. To dim them and then extinguish them is the hope of the days of awe. Here is envy. Let us snuff it out. It enters into our souls like a plague, consuming all. It gives us no peace nor rest. Yet how foolish is envy. While we envy others, surely the others envy us. Every life has its problems, and where we choose among the troubles in the world, we select our own. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu lechabot ner shel kincha. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us by your mitzvot and commands us to quench the light of envy.
Here is hatred. Let us destroy it. It is always senseless, never rational.
It diminishes the life of the hater, fills us with anxieties, warps our judgment, and blinds us to our faults. Its sibling is intolerance, the scourge of humanity. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chabot ner shel Sinah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us by your mitzvot and commands us to extinguish the light of hatred.
And here is false pride. It makes us do things far beyond our needs and wants. Away with it. There should be pride in our accomplishments and our heritage, in our family and loved ones. But false pride, whose companion is arrogance, is the enemy of the ethical life. We do not need it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechabot ner shel ge'ava. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us by your mitzvot and commands us to put out the light of false pride.
One light continues to burn, the Ner Tamid, the eternal light. In every sanctuary where Jews worship, this light burns. It stands for God's justice and goodness. Its light is the external symbol of God's presence and is the guardian of the Torah in the ark beneath. It is this Torah which has in it the precepts by which all people shall live, not only Jews, but all humanity.
Let's sing together, Roll into Dark.
We extinguished 3 burning fires a moment ago. Now we light 3 in their place. The first is repentance. Before we can change the world, we must look to ourselves. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur beseech us to do that. Recognizing our errors is the first step we take. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel teshuvah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us by your mitzvot and commands us to rekindle the light of repentance.
The second is prayer. Prayer is worship of the heart, not service of the lips. Words are the body, thought is the soul of prayer. If one's mind is occupied with alien thoughts, while the tongue moves on, such prayer is like a body without a soul, like a shell without a kernel. May our prayers at this hour and every hour be true ones. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel tefillah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us with your mitzvot and commands us to kindle the light of prayer.
The third is tzedakah, giving, this action that makes the word, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, come true. It means whatever we have gained for ourselves in these high holidays must be shared with others. We share the material wealth, but we also share our goodness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel tzedakah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us by your laws and commands us to kindle the light by giving. May these three lights illumine our hearts in this hour of Slihot, in this hour of searching and cleansing. Amen.
We'll join together again in singing Ve'al Kulam.
Ve'al Kulam El Aslichot Selach Lanu Mechalanu Kapelanu Ve'al Kulam El Aslichot Slach lanu mechalanu Slach lanu mechalanu Kapelanu.
Please rise and join us in Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל,
לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא עשה לנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כלב, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We think now of all of those in our community who we have loved and lost. Tonight we think of those who have died in recent days. Clarice Cutts, Sandra Friedman, Hannah Lyon, Bernice Steinberg. We also think of those whose yahrzeit falls today. Franz Boschwitz, Israel Goldenberg, Ivan Goldman, Bertha Hartree, Carol Carlson, Ephraim Levine, Vera Lisorgursky, Lois Moravitz, Harold Neifeld, Lester Oberman, Donald Rosen, Ruth Roston, Joseph Selper. If you are remembering somebody whose yahrzeit falls today or somebody who has died in recent 30 days, I invite you to share their name as I look your way. Zikronam livracha, may all of their memories be for our blessing as we join together in the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba, be'alma divrach yurte v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach, v'yit pa'ar, v'yit romam, v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit halev, v'yit halal, shemei dekudasha barechu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, da'amiran ve'alma ve'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Amen. You may be seated.
If I turned away, would you wait for me? If I sometimes strayed, would you set me free? If I were to doubt you, would you still believe in me? And if I saw the truth, would you somehow help me see? My heart's filled with questions that my head can't answer. Still with my reservations, I find you're always there. When I'm tiptoeing backward like a faithless dancer, without hesitation, I find you're always there. If I spoke to you, would you try to hear the secrets lost inside of me and all my deepest fears? My heart's filled with questions that my head can't answer. Still with my reservations, I find you're always there. When I'm tiptoeing backward like a faithless dancer, without hesitation, I find you're always there. Oh, 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 Your love, cold hands, warm touch, closed mind, open heart, last chance, new start. My heart's filled with questions that my head can't answer. Still with my reservations, I find you're always there. When I'm tiptoeing backward like a faithless dancer, without hesitation, I find you're always there. If I were to doubt you. This idea of spending time, lots of time sitting with ourselves among our people, especially if we don't spend a lot of time during the rest of the year, it's not part of our regular practice to come sit close to other people and go deep within ourselves to connect with ourselves, our people, and our God. How fair is the expectation that that experience should be easy or pleasurable, even meaningful? And yet, I believe it's hardwired into our DNA as a people. I learned from Cantor Ellen Dreskin that the word Yisrael is future tense, and it means one who will struggle with God. And when I heard that, it opened up all new rooms of possibility for me in terms of this prayer practice, this sitting with other people and trying to, pray. So I wanted to share some songs tonight that tied thematically to this struggle, this place that can be awkward, that can be uncomfortable. With the hopes that me singing my truth, maybe I'm not alone, and maybe somebody else in this room feels this way too. And if so, maybe then you know that I'm with you, and maybe others are as well. Yehuda Halevi was a Jewish poet who lived in Spain around the year 1000. And he wrote this poem. There's a much longer setting, verse upon verse, of this beautiful poem. I bumped into it because it's in Mishkan Tefillah. That's the prayer book we use here, right? Mishkan Tefillah. Well, I love this prayer book for a lot of reasons, particularly because sometimes when I'm supposed to be on page 42 with the rest of the class, I find myself daydreaming and going to other places. And I love how this prayer book gives us an opportunity to be kind of almost choose our own adventure, but still be within the parameters, the intention of the prayer that we're singing, we're praying. And Mishkan Tefillah uses this poem embedded within the Amidah, the standing part of the service where we're chanting together and sometimes even left to our own devices to pray. So I'll sing a little bit and then maybe I'll translate the Hebrew. It's built on a nigun, a melody that I thought maybe we could sing together. It goes like this. Ya na na na, ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na na na, ya na 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 na. Try it. Ya na na na. yaina naina, yaina naina, na 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 na, yaina naina na 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 na. Maybe when that comes around, you could sing that with me. Ya'ana emsacha mekomcha nale v'ne'elam v'ana lo emsacha kivodcha malei olam darashti kirvatcha b'chol libi kiraticha utseiti לקראתי מצאתיך יאינה ניינה יאינה ניינה 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 יאינה ניינה. Where would I go to find you? You are mysterious and hidden. Yet where would I not go to find you? Your presence fills the universe. My heart cries out to you. Please draw near to me. The moment I reach out for you, I find you reaching in for me. Darashti kirvatcha b'chol libi kiraticha hotzeiti likratcha likrati mitzati. מקומך נעלה ונעלם ואנה לא אמצאך כבודך מלא עולם. Try to hum it. Years ago, I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and at a congregation called Rodef Shalom Congregation, and was in the restroom. I was washing my hands. It was time to dry, and I look at the paper towel dispenser, and on top of this little paper towel dispenser, there's a sign, and it says, "If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. You'll be who you've always been." So I got out my phone and I took a picture. Before I did that, I looked in the bathroom to see if I was all alone. I was, and so I did. Well, that didn't seem to be enough. So I realized in this moment that this was a great sign, and I just had to share this with someone. Who is going to take my call right now? Who can I call? And who will pick up and talk to me? my dad. I have bet my dad will take this call. So standing in the men's room, I dial my dad. And he picks up. Dad, I'm standing in the men's room at Road of Shalom congregation in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And on the paper towel dispenser, Dad, there is a sign. And the sign says, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. You'll be who you've always been. And Dad, I'm very inspired right now. I remember he said a couple things. He said, that sounds like a 12-step thing. I said, yeah. It's just so great, though, Dad. There's no judgment. It's not right or wrong. It just is. I can get behind that. Dad, I think there's something really beautiful there. And I remember the other thing he said. He went, I'm going to let you go now. And he did. And months went by, and I forgot all about the sign. Months later, I got a new phone, and I was sitting at the kitchen table, and I had the two phones connected, and I was transferring the pictures from the old phone over to the new phone. And as I'm sitting there looking at the pictures, the months go by, I see that picture that I took in the men's room. And that still is good. What is that? Who said that? Where does that come from? And so I got out my laptop or whatever, and I did a little search, and I found that according to the internet, some people give credit to Mark Twain as having said this first. Other people give credit to Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker. One woman gives credit to her personal trainer, Cheryl. Regardless from where it comes, it seems like as we take this holiday to turn into ourselves with the hope and prayer that we can discover more of who we are meant to be in the year ahead. This is a prayer that I share with you. It's called Where You've Always Gone. When hope is hiding her face and you're half an inch away from the world, when all you feel's out of place and the flag of your fixation's unfurled, it's a fine line between a groove and a rut, the blink of an eye between an amputation and a paper cut. If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got, and you'll be who you've always been. You go where you've always gone. Now your heart's on injured reserve for ruminating on what's over and done, in the search for what you thought you deserved. You're left behind while everyone else moves on. It's a fine line between a groove and a rut, the blink of an eye between an amputation and a paper cut. If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got, and you'll be who you've always been. You go where you've always gone. If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got, and you'll be who you've always been. You go where you've always gone. It's a fine line, the blink of an eye, and you're never gonna know if you're never gonna try. If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always gotten. You'll be who you've always been. You go where you've always gone. If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always gotten. You'll be who you've always been. You go where you've always gone. If you do what you've always done, you get what you've always gotten. You'll be who you've always been. You go where you've always gone. Go where you've always gone.
I think people come to worship for many reasons. And I think at this time of year, people come in particular for comfort for the human condition that exists within each of our lives. And perhaps we come to find something we can count on, something we can rely on. And for many of us, Judaism is that thing that we can count on and rely on. And looking at our teenagers tonight who came up and led us in prayer, I think they brought us comfort because we can rely on them and we can know that our traditions will carry on and that they will carry on for us. We also come for inspiration. And I think that, Dan, you with your music and your stories and your presence, you've inspired us. And my hope is that in the days ahead, as we enter the Yamim Noraim, that we can continue to find comfort, but that we can also be comforting, and that we can be inspired, but at the same time be inspiring. And so we will conclude our service with the sound of the shofar, which will perhaps wake us from that place of comfort and help us think about the inspiration that will guide us to live in a way that will bring righteousness into the world, that will bring justice into the world, and that will allow us to find a way forward in the year ahead that will live all of these values that we have heard about and focused on tonight. So I'm going to ask Rabbi Crimmings to bring over the shofar, and I'll do my best to make that sound that will wake us so we can enter the days of awe.
Tekiah.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.